Welcome back. It is day 23 of Travel Agency in a Year podcast. My name is Rachel Kay, your host, and we're going to get into building your marketing strategy. And this is going to kind of tie into we're going to do a few money episodes after this. But building your marketing strategy. What is your marketing strategy as a travel advisor? So yesterday we went over networking. If you've been paying attention to the last few episodes or if you are in the success circle, you would have a pretty thorough idea of who you want to work with, what you're going to be offering. At this point, you should be having an idea of that and kind of how you're going to serve your clients. But do you have a strategy on how to tell people what you're doing? Yes, maybe, no, I don't know. If you don't, let's talk about what a marketing strategy is. So there's a marketing strategy and there is a content strategy. They are different, yet very similar. I like to think of the marketing strategy as like the big picture. And I like to do a full year of like, what is the overall message for the year with this business? What am I doing as a travel agent in this next year? What do I want to book? Like big 12-month picture. And it's going to go over a few different things. So grab your notebook or type it on your notes on your phone. I don't care what you do with it. Just kind of think about this. Number one, where are you marketing? Is this aligned with your ideal client avatar? Is this aligned with your brand voice? Where are you going to be marketing? It can be so many different platforms online. It can be in-person marketing. But where is it? I would recommend if you're brand new to being a travel advisor, don't put yourself everywhere all at once. It's a lot of work and you're going to get burnt out. I would hyper focus on one platform for like a month, but no more than 3 your first year, and see which one plays out as your like best option going forward. How many touch points do you want to give your audience each month? Every platform is a little bit different with how they handle their algorithm if you're doing social media marketing. And you might have to post once a day. You might be able to get away with every other day posting. You might have to post like 2 or 3 times a day to really get your audience engaging with you. How many touch points are you willing to commit to? And you can always alter this down the road, but at a minimum throughout the year, if you are near sick and dying, what's the minimum touch points? Not near sick and dying. If you're just like got the flu or a cold and you're just kind of tired, what's the minimum number of touch points that you're willing to do with your audience on the platforms where you will be marketing? And like I said, it's different for each type of platform and what you're doing within the platform as well. Depending on where you want to go, I would do a little bit of research on what the algorithm of said social media platform expects, and then understand your ICA and what would they expect if you aren't doing social media. Like, are they going to expect you to see them once a month and maybe have a follow-up email or text message if you're just doing like strictly in-person networking and marketing that way? What does that look like? Based on your niche, which I highly recommend you niche down. I've said it for years. Niche down. I'm not saying only stick with one niche, but if you're new, maybe stick with one niche and then expand to up to 3 different niches because you don't want to run yourself ragged. So when you're creating your marketing strategy, monthly topics, like just quick 12 different topics. And we talked about this with the client's journey as well. But what do you want to offer? And how are you going to have these different offerings set up each month? So if you're doing romance travel and you're doing honeymoons and you're doing Mexico and the Caribbean, maybe one month you focus on like let's say you're doing all of Mexico and all of the Caribbean. So maybe one month you can focus on Cabo and then Puerto Vallarta and then uh, Mexican Caribbean side, Riviera Maya. Or you could break it down even further and do Cancun, Tulum. And then you could do like Jamaica, DR, Bahamas, whatever it is that you wanted to do. Like do a different destination each month and you could create your content strategy. Part of your content strategy could be like the first post of each month is March's destination highlight. These are the top resorts I recommend for your honeymoon in St. Lucia. I don't know what you're doing, but just an idea. And just do a different one each month. When you are creating your content, I want you to keep this in mind because we're not doing like deep, we're not doing daily posts. We're just doing like the broad overview of what are you covering this month? Are you going to be talking about like the best packing tips? Are you going to talk about like, here's my favorite places to shop for your honeymoon in Riviera Maya? Like, those can be like parts of your monthly topics, but you want to have your main overall topic. Like, is it a specific destination or is it a specific resort or cruise line or itinerary of that a cruise line offers? Like, what are you going to do each month? What's your biggest focus that you want to offer? And hopefully you will get consultations and they will book exactly what you're offering that month. They might deviate. It's fine. So when you're creating your content on a monthly basis, like day to day, your daily content, something to keep in mind, and you can do this for your overall marketing strategy. There are basically 4 major pillars of content. And like you can just find this on WikiHow. Really easy. You're going to have your personal, like behind the scenes. You're going to have your sales, like strong sales content, educational content, and engagement content. When you are looking at this, a decent ratio is like for every 10 posts, one needs to be like a personal one. For every 10 posts, 2 of them need to be sales related, like really, really strong sales. And I'm not saying don't have a call to action in your other posts, but 2 of them definitely need to be like, I have this many spots open for consultations for a honeymoon in April of 2029 or whatever. I've opened up 5 spots this week. Book your calls. Like that's pretty strong, like work with me sales type stuff. Then education is the biggest one, in my opinion. I think you need to do education is 40%. 1, 2, 3, 4. 40%. So out of every 10 posts, 4 of them need to be educational. And then the other 3 are engaging, which is like, it can be anything like, when you're planning, and I'm sticking with honeymoons, sorry. But when you're planning your honeymoon, are you picturing snow-capped mountains and skiing, or are you picturing lounging on the beach? Like, that's an engaging one. People are going to be commenting, picking. Or you could be like, hot take, all-inclusive resorts suck for honeymoons. Go to this boutique hotel. Like, I'm just making up stuff over here. But as an example, just to get engagement, okay? And the educational post, it's not like the rest of these won't get engagement, but you need to have some content that's more engaging, right? Now, what if you only do email? What if you're like, I only have my website and I funnel them through a lead magnet and they magically find me because I have the world's best SEO and I only do email marketing? Or maybe you're like a strong in-person marketer for like expos, shows, or just networking in general, or you're highly involved in your local community, but you do funnel them into your email newsletter. So what if that is like your only marketing quote unquote strategy? You can still do this. You can still have your monthly content, like your main topics, like what destinations do you want to talk about? What things do you want to talk about if you're like highly niche down? And inside your emails, that those same 4 pillars, you can have all 4 of them in one email. It just really depends. Does your audience like read all the email? or do they glance at it? But if you have a little bit of that, it'd be like a nice newsletter, right? I almost said it'd be like a small newspaper. Oh, duh, a newsletter. And so you'd have something like, oh, destination spotlight is going to be Italy. And then you just like go into here's like the most trending destinations in Italy to go. Here's secret hotspots that I like, which is like the educational aspect. Here's the best times a year to travel. And then you can be engaging and be like, hey, would you rather do this or that for your trip to Italy? Like these are the different options, and then you can have a strong sales, like book a sales call with me. I have 6 trips to Italy remaining for next year. And then you could just have a picture of yourself like, here's what I'm up to this month at home. I'm learning how to make sourdough and failing miserably. So you could have all of that in your email newsletter and you'd still hit all those points. Now, what if you only do in-person marketing? I do think you should have some sort of newsletter and be able, and at least collecting emails somehow. But if you only do in person, you're going to have to come up with like education webinar nights, information nights where you can implement these different aspects of the marketing content pillars. I'm losing my voice again, per usual. Okay. So those are just the real basics of building your marketing strategy. If you'd like some more help, we do have the Success Circle at Elevate with Rachel K. We do have a much more in-depth workbook for your marketing overall strategy and then content calendar setup stuff just in case. If you like this episode, please subscribe, share with a travel advisor who's riding the struggle bus with building their business. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.